Now I'm recording. Hi, welcome. We're going to look at chapter 2 again, the chapter called Quantum Physics from a Happy Pocket Full of Money. In my notes, I have read the blue section, my phone, from David's book. So he says, quantum physics is the first step to an amazing awakening that you're about to undergo. Now listen with big ears. Not only will you understand the very construction of all that you see around you, you'll also understand exactly how your belief and thinking creates matter, how you reap what you sow, how even before you ask, it's been given into you. It's science catching up with spirituality and common sense and explaining it. Think about it. When somebody tells you anything is possible if only you believe, aren't you more likely to believe when you know how, step by step, scientifically, your belief shifts the universe and produces what you believe in? One of the benefits of understanding the very basics of quantum physics is that you can finally see how powerful concepts like faith and right thinking work. This seeing and understanding, this knowing, enables you to have full confidence, eliminate doubt, create your reality consciously, powerfully, and beautifully. And also, quantum physics shows us how we're all connected. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. How we're all one being. It perpetuates, this one being perpetuates the illusion of separate and individual beings. But it also gives you a glimpse into how spirit and matter connect, how mind and matter interact, how creation actually happens, and how we co-create with God. So he breaks it down into what's going on here, what is actually matter. And it's matter is cells, then molecules, then atoms, then subatomic particles like electrons. And he then explains what quanta is. Quanta is the probability, the possibility of something appearing when it is observed. So my takeaway about observing is that it's really key to understanding this. For something to exist, it needs to be observed. If all things are made out of quanta, which are energy packets, they're not filled with energy, they are energy. They are probabilities existing in multiple places at multiple times in multiple dimensions. And it's our observation of it that causes it to exist for us. You can observe a chair, but if someone else isn't observing the same chair, that chair doesn't exist for them. Anyway, it says go to the orange section. Second. I'm color-coded. Quantum physics, now listen, this is so cool. Quantum physics tells us that it's the act of observing an object that causes it to be there, where and how we observe it. Energy is the subatomic particles that in turn make up atoms, and finally, matter. The energy exists as waves spread out over space and time. Only when you exercise observation do these waves become particles localized as a space-time event, a particle at a particular time in a particular place. As soon as you withdraw your observation, it becomes a wave again. So it's your observation, your attention to something, and your intention literally creates the thing as a space-time event. Nothing is solid. You know, billions of light photons are flashing in and out. Light photons are flashing in and out like a movie. The movie looks like it's a continuous picture, but it's in reality, it's just frames stuck together, right? That's a movie. So the same thing is happening in our reality. that reality is flashing in and out all the time. Our mind is putting it together as a linear event. If you change your perception of something, you're changing the creation of it. Let's talk about the chair. This was a topic that people seemed to kind of harbor on last time when Linda took this chapter. The chair in your living room is only there when you perceive it, when you observe it. Because in reality, it's no different than you. We're all an ocean of probabilities, but it's our observation of it that causes it to come into being. So I'm going to skip that part. They are particles. Oh, not only is everything made up of these subatomic particles, but the particles make decisions and that they can sense the decisions made by the other particles. So you don't have an individual mind, even though you think you do. All individual minds are one mind. Billions of light photons flashing at the speed of light. This is what your world is, a rapid flashing that causes an illusion of being solid and continuous. Once you understand that your world truly is, you start to understand its true behavior and nature. And with your changed perception, you can change the creation of it. This is the first step to wealth. So imagine that the chair in your living room is one huge subatomic particle. This is how it would act. When you're not in the house and not thinking of the chair, it would vanish and become a probability that it can reappear anywhere in your living room or anywhere else in the universe. When you come back home and think of sitting in the chair in a particular spot in your living room, you look for the chair and it would magically reappear. That's not some fantasy magical subatomic particle story. Subatomic particles behave just like that. So matter is composed of subatomic particles. So the chair being there is because we've decided that it's there. But it doesn't have a wholly independent existence outside of us. The observer and the observed are creating the experience. It's separating to know itself, you could say. I thought of an exercise, and I don't know if this is going to make sense or not, but if something isn't being observed, it doesn't exist. So for just a second, take your hand, take 2 fingers on your right hand and put them on your left hand and close your eyes. Now, observe the hand with the 2 fingers touching the other hand. Be aware of it. Be aware of your 2 fingers touching your hand. Now flip your awareness to be your hand experiencing 2 fingers touching it. Now I want to ask you something. Open your eyes. What was happening outside the window where you're sitting while we were doing that exercise? Exactly. It didn't exist. Nothing was, it didn't exist. Your awareness wasn't on it. So there was no window, there was no event happening outside the window. It did not exist. It's how the whole thing works. Something doesn't come into creation until it's observed, until there's somebody there to experience it. I might be doing a really bad job of explaining this, but I'm going to forge ahead because it's really, really interesting. Okay, this is the part about particles knowing, physicists have discovered that quantum particles make decisions. They're powered by intelligence. Not only that, they know instantly what decisions are being made by other particles anywhere else in the universe. There's a synchronicity across time and space. Instantaneously, particles communicate without taking any time or crossing any space. So he gives an example later on in this chapter about what we call the ripple effect. How every single thing that you think or do affects everything. but the whole thing is being affected by every piece of it. That's on page 20. Let me get it. Now, the next decision that you make will split the universe into your being as an awareness and what you are aware of. You will be conscious to the part of the universe you choose. You choose what you are aware of. You will also exist in the other parts that you didn't choose. I think this is what Julie wanted to talk about at the beginning of the session. You will also exist in the other part that you didn't choose, but you won't be awake to it, even though its essences will still come to you, and you know that, and will help you know that which you chose and which doesn't, which you didn't choose. Other people might choose the other world that you didn't choose, to be awake there and not here in your world. It's almost like seeing it not as a flat picture of your experience, but as a holographic, multi-dimensional realm of infinite possibilities, where your awareness is really the, this is my words, not Jacondi's words, it's sort of like the portal of creation. It's the filter that decides the experience at any given moment, and it affects the whole thing. He also says the universe is also split into your present self, your past self, and your future selves. Although you're only awake to your present self right now. But your future selves are talking to your present self. They already exist. It's an ever-shifting matrix. All of this, for me, experientially, gives it a fluidity, the in and out part of it, the billions of times a second, things are disappearing and reappearing in a slightly different way. It's never going to be the same moment twice. Never. Something's going to be a little different because your mind is moving and choosing all the time. All you need to do is choose what you wish to observe with certainty and consistency, and this will cause the energy field that not only exists in multiple dimensions at the same time, it will cause the energy field to materialize that thing depending on your clarity, focus, and certainty. Scientists have proven that all physical matter is made up of energy packets and not bound by time and space. Science has proven this. The universe is literally your extended thinking. I think that's what that says. I can't read my own writing. Totally your extended thoughts and unbound body. Science also proves mind has no boundaries. All minds are connected in one mind. One. So it all starts with I am. That's why he keeps repeating, I am wealth, I am I am wealth. I am joy. Now my mind is just soup. I am wealth. I am, what is it? I am abundance. I am joy. I am drinking a glass of water. I am doing a Zoom. I am confused. I am fascinated. I am curious. I am sitting on a couch. Wherever you think you are, you are. Wherever you think you're not, you're not. It's as simple as that. But it's not limited by time and space. It's not limited by anything. It's unlimited, like the ocean, like there's parts of the ocean in that example. I think I've thrown a lot out there that now we can have a conversation, and anything that particularly strikes you or excites you or confuses you, let's talk about it, because I'm certainly not the expert here. I just pulled out some points that really jumped out at me. Jump in.
I love this. I feel like it gives us superpowers, or it makes us aware of our superpowers. And it makes me so excited. I remember I read part of this book, like half of this book before. And my favorite thing that I read in the entire first half was the fact that our future selves can report back to us what choices were the best for us. So we can like go through making the decisions and know, oh, well, this is the decision that turns out best because all of my future selves have tried all of the options, and this is the one that we like the best. And
that's
so
actually how we make decisions. We just don't know it.
Yeah, I love it.
That. Yeah. That's actually how it works. We just aren't aware of it. Yeah.
Right. I love it so much. And then I think, I don't know, I just love this whole idea of tapping into that superpower and actually creating our day-to-day lives. I mean, we can actually do that. And
we are doing
I
it.
love that. We are. Yes.
We are doing it already. We're just not aware of how the whole thing works. That's why this bears contemplating, because you'll be contemplating it and then you'll just be like in the supermarket and you'll have an aha moment. And if you can string enough of those together, you start to really get excited about it. It takes some doing though, because we think we're linear beings living in linear time in a flat material universe that's made out of solid stuff and nothing ever changes. We are so in the dark about what reality actually is and how things actually work. That's becoming really obvious. Yeah, go ahead.
And you're familiar, right?
What?
You're familiar with Abraham Hicks? Esther Hicks and Abraham, the entity that she...
Yes.
Anyway, they say that what we're experiencing right now is a product of our habitual thinking that has brought us to now. So that all this is still a product, it's exactly what we're talking about, but unconsciously we've done it and it's done it anyway. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're creating consciously or unconsciously. But if you could choose to create consciously, wouldn't that be a better idea?
Yeah.
Much better.
That's gonna go to.
Yeah. Is that what you
okay,
is that what you wanted to bring up?
I'm sorry?
Is that what you wanted? Was that
was the point.
going? Yeah.
But you finished the thought, so.
Awesome. Great.
Okay, so this is where I'm maybe a little bit more practical or whatever. It's not the right word, but so I get that when you did the example of putting the hand there and we were focusing on this, we didn't know what's happening outside, just like the box and the cat. You know, until you open up the box, the cat's not dead nor alive. He's in that in-between state, right? Because there's all these possibilities. So we all want brand partners. We all want to grow our business. We have a desire, not a want, because a want is a sense of lack, but we have this desire to build this organization that's just thriving, because we know what we have is so special. So what do we do in the moment, because we only have now, that's going to bring that possibility and the endless possibilities out there, draw it to us in our existence now? Is it the emotion we have coupled with the belief and faith that's coming to us that we will experience those band partners?
Yeah, that they already exist right here, right now. That it's already happened, you could say.
So then when we meet somebody and we get so excited because, oh, I've got a class A, they're wonderful, I love them. And then they call, you follow up and they're like, I don't have time for that. So then it's like, okay, that's like, that's not the outcome I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like what possibly shift can be made here so that we can realize these desires now?
Your team already exists. You already exist as a national marketing director. You already are one. It's already happened, you could say. So it's aligning yourself with that and fully 100% committing to it, believing it, surrendering to it, and allowing it to manifest in whatever way. And of course you're going to get excited about it if you really and truly understand that that's true. So thoughts and
like Julie said, it's exciting to feel this because it is exciting. We have this power. So that's, I was reading ahead and he says, you have to have the excitement before the action.
Right.
And the belief and faith.
That's what Joe says too. It's like that's the magnet that's going to draw the event back to you. Most people, excuse me, they try to fill in the picture of how, when, where. They plot and plan. They hope that it's going to manifest. The hoping actually keeps the event away.
Because it's like wanting.
Well, the hoping and wanting are indications of separation. You don't hope for something you already have. I'm not hoping for a glass of water. Here it is. So it's really wrapping your head around how powerful this actually is. We limit ourselves with our limited thinking. And
so then when we notice that it's limiting, like we notice we get a little upset when something didn't go the way we had hoped, we stop and we say, I don't believe that. That's not my possibility. I'm not drawing that to me. Instead of putting up resistance, because that what you resist persists. So we just say, no, I stop that thought and I create a new thought. Is that the way to go? Yeah,
it really helps if you really, 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 really want it and really, really, really believe it already exists and really, 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 really know that you're completely worthy and capable of anything that you can possibly think of. You'd make as good a millionaire as anybody else. Really, that's where
we all believe that about ourselves.
Well, that's between you and you. That's your little bedtime story you tell yourself. I don't know what's going on between anybody else's ears. I do know how people sabotage themselves without even realizing it. So that's a personal conversation you need to have with yourself. What do I really, really, really want? What is the essence of my reason for existing on this planet, breathing air? It really boils down to your belief systems and your what's your objective? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want to manifest? What do you want and why? What would it give you? How badly do you want that? There's something in all of us that's screaming out for something. And I can't tell you what yours is any more than you can tell me what mine is, but you have to tell yourself the truth. I do know that. That's how it works. Because if you're just telling yourself you want something, I just don't think that's a good idea.
Well, and I think he says too, want is not the right, that's a sense of lack. If you look up the definition of want, it's all like not having. And if we believe that we already have the possibilities are endless, it's more of a desire, a longing.
Yeah, what do you want to manifest? What do you want to experience in your life? And what's at the essence of that? You know, is it connection? Is it contribution? Is it self-worth? Is it, what is it? Is it bliss? Is it joy? Is it love? Is it, what kind of love? You know, it's like, really have this conversation with yourself. It's fascinating. You can have whatever you want. You can have, but you have to really, really believe it. And then set your sail. Sell yourself the truth. What floats your boat? You don't have to live a small life. That's what he's saying. We're unlimited, but everything is already, even before you ask, it's there already. And that's interesting because the asking, ask and you shall receive, knock and the door shall be opened unto you. The asking and the thing that you're asking for are like, they like are co-created from that one thing. That's where it splits and then it comes together again. Just look at it like a big dance, you know, like a square dance where people are like in geometrical patterns and they're moving around. It's sort of like that, but you're doing it with the whole universe and time too. And you could probably live in multiple dimensions at the same time. We just don't think we can. It's really true. They're doing experiments about this stuff. You know, he gave an example of A, B, C, and D, remember? And they're all existing at the same, the particle doesn't have to choose which one. It could be at all of them at the same time.
It's only our awareness that brings it into our reality, right? The observation of it.
Right.
You know how when we have that feeling of like deja vu, like this has happened or is happening or whatever, I feel like that's like some of that coming together and we're just like, oh, what's happening?
That's right. We're remembering our future and we're like, wait a second, I've been here before.
Yeah. It's like, well, of course you've been here before.
You were never anywhere else.
We're everywhere at the same time.
There's an interesting short story that I posted on my personal page, and it's called The Egg. You might have to scroll down. It was a couple of weeks ago. And it's about a man who dies and has a conversation with God. It's really short. Read that. It's really interesting. And it might clarify some of this. It's called The Egg.
I love this idea, like that. So, you know, something exists when we are aware of it and when we focus our attention on it. And I think of like relationships, and I mean, this is kind of like really out there. Like relationships, and like maybe sometimes when we feel the most lonely, it's when no one is aware of us, or sometimes we feel invisible. And like maybe we are not becoming aware of others and maybe they feel lonely and invisible. It's because no one at that moment is actually thinking and focusing attention on it. It made me think, oh, well, I want to focus more attention on the people I love more frequently, just even if it's in my thoughts, just so that no one will actually be invisible. And I saw this show last week, See Wall and a Life, and it was about one of the things that the guy said. He said, we die 3 times. Once is when we actually die, and the second time is when our body is buried in the ground, and the last time is the last time someone says our name. So generations from now, and the last person says, oh, my great-great-grandmother Julie, like the last time, that is when they die finally.
Wow.
And that's the last time someone is aware of it,
Right. That's right.
you know?
Good.
So,
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. That's kind of along the same lines of what we're talking about. That's a perfect example.
yeah.
That's it exactly. That's how Mr. X can appear when you call him and then disappear and be like everywhere and anywhere he has the possibility of being, because he doesn't exist for you at that moment. He doesn't.
Right.
Until you think of him again,
Yeah.
he's back.
I
Right.
think of the people who created great art like Beethoven or Mozart or Van Gogh, and people constantly talk about them. They're still alive. They
Right.
still exist.
That's
Their
right.
music is here. Their art is here. We are still saying their names.
People are still collaborating with them, even though they've been dead for hundreds of years.
Yes.
Somebody makes a ballet to a Beethoven. It's
Right.
a collaboration. They're collaborating. That's a perfect example. Perfect. But let's take it 1,000 times farther. You know, this stuff is really mind opening when you actually can just kind of wrap your mind around it. Just
It's like
really,
you can just barely.
yeah. Who else? Who else? Let's go.
So what about people that believe they can fly and they jump out the window and they crash to the ground and die? That's just like, they believed it.
Well, but gravity also exists. So
I know that people have flown. I know for a fact that people have flown in the sky. I know it for a fact. So what's the difference between the people who have and the people who haven't? I think it comes down to belief. I really do.
Madeline L'Engle said that she knows that when she was a little girl, she would float down the stairs instead of walking down the stairs because she believed she could and she could do that. And she remembers doing it.
That makes me think of the story in the Bible of Peter walking on water. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh my gosh, I'm walking on water. And then he started to drown.
There you go.
Mhm.
That's it. Like the person
Mhm.
that was crazy and jumped off the building and fell to their death might have had that moment as soon as they jumped off the building of a ship.
Mhm.
I can't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I wasn't inside their head, but
What strikes me sometimes when I think about this and I'm trying to understand it is the difference between like trying to use this like a spell or something, you know, like a magic formula. Like if you just think hard enough and say this intensely enough, or you know, try hard enough to believe what you're saying, that is not what we're doing. We have to be the person. It's like a state of being, and he talks about that in the book. But I can really see a big difference in myself between when I'm being that person and when I'm trying mentally to just like flip the switch or wind the toy or whatever, say the words. And it's not like Harry Potter spells that you cast out there. It's being that person.
knowledge
Is that right?
knowledge is the harbinger to experience. So if you really want to understand quantum physics, go back and read that chapter in Becoming Supernatural. Go back and read this chapter and the following chapter, and just read it over and over again. Just read it over and over and over again. Read it all the time. And sooner or later, things will start to make sense. because it's so outside of what we're taught, what we think, what we commonly agree on as reality. But this is science. So if you really understand the science of it, proven stuff, experiments, as many experiments as you want to look into, you start to realize that, wow, this could be true. You start to creep across the line of believing it. When you really believe it, that's when you can really use it. If you're being the person that's hoping it's true, like a magic spell, that's what you're being. You're being a hopeful person.
Right.
Trying. How would it be if you knew for a fact that all of this was absolutely 100% true? Like Joe Dispenza. Like, he's got stories to tell, I'm telling you. It's really interesting stuff.
This that there's a paragraph, Nina, that says like what you were saying, like a stronger cause that causes the energy to form into the physical reality we experience, and that is being, which is the state of being. There are many states of being, like being happy, fast, wealthy, and so on. And this is the strongest cause, the first cause of all. It is so because it is the declaration of spirit, of self. From a state of being follows certain thoughts pertaining to that state. So we are that, and then we have those thoughts that create.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it all starts with I am. I am. That's the state of awareness that you are creating from. So be aware that you're aware, and be aware of what you're being aware of. And you can
think that
you get a creative process.
I think that what Nina and Julie said about the being part, I think that kind of answers Linda's question, because it seems to me if you are a platinum national marketing director, and that's what you believe and that's what you be, if one person says no, I'm assuming if you're Puya Gandhi, you just go great and go on to the next person. You know what I mean? That each one doesn't have the same charge as it does when you think of yourself as, oh my God, I don't have a team. And then each possibility, each class A becomes so charged with, oh my God, I want you. But when you have, I would assume when you have a big team, you're going to go, great, you don't want to do it, on to the next person.
Yeah, you're being.
And there's no desperation, like no desperation of, oh no, I really needed you on my team because I wanted this bonus and da da da. It's just oh, well, I already have the bonuses.
Yeah, really. Have a good life. I'll see you later.
I'm sorry you don't want the bonuses too. That's totally fine.
Do we have any other kind of head scratch? Marielle, you've said absolutely nothing. And you're sitting in the dark like the witness protection program.
No, I know. We need more light. We need more light in this, my bedroom. I hate it. No, I just, I mean, I love all this so much. And I just think that when, and I'm like, saying my affirmations, or I am, thinking, I'm believing I'm someone else. I just think that it makes me do different things. It just makes me do different things. Like how it says, we're talking to our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind is putting it out there. So it's all being drawn to us. It seems like I'm doing things, like I know I'm going to Cabo. I don't have enough points yet, but I know I'm going to Cabo. And even today, like, I hate the phone, and you know how much I hate the phone. But I sat down and I called like 25 people because they're in my window of I'll get points from them still. And I was like, who was that person? That was like a national marketing director doing her business. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I believe it so much that I'm going that that it's out there and that things are working on my behalf,
Great.
making me do it or pulling it into me.
That's an example of your future self
Yeah.
informing your present self.
Yeah.
Perfect example of that. Who's telling you to do that? Your future self that's already in Cabo.
There you go.
Perfect example. Yep.
Yeah, it is amazing. It's amazing. I love it. And then Nina, you wanted to know about like mind movies. Well, one of the big things that had happened was a year and a half ago or so, where I was just shy of getting the trip, and it was the last day, and I'm in Hawaii, and it's on my mind movie. I am writing it down like 15 times a day that I'm going to Cancun, and I get a call in the middle of the afternoon when I'm on the beach that this guy wants to join, and I'd put out a discount like a month ago about it, and he calls like that day, and it puts me over the edge to go to Cabo. Now, I was so floored because that I'd been just, knowing that's going to happen, but I really had no idea how it was going to happen. So that happened, and then even like with my book, it's in my mind movie. I won multiple top awards, and now it's like we have 2 awards. It is a very simple book. I know it's cute and the illustrations are cute. It's really simple, but somehow that's working. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, Town. It's just amazing. I just love it, and that's why I just have to keep believing and just walking around thinking about this kind of stuff. It's like I have this little secret. It's like, it's so totally happening. It's happening. It's like, I feel it. I just feel it. It's like a bubble up.
That's great. It's like, wipe that smile off your face. Why are you walking around so happy?
Yeah, like that. It's so cool, though. I just love it.
How it works. Yeah, when I redid my mind movie, which I'm going to move on to the wins because we're running out of time. Unless somebody has something scintillating to say about this, we'll come back. I redid my mind movie. I made everything a lot bigger and more exciting and less, I want to say less specific. I mean, it's really specific in my mind, but I don't want to like write the screenplay for it. You know what I mean? But I did make it really bigger because this stuff really works. So with that, let's see, who's next? Doreen, why don't you tell us what your wins are? And
Well, I wouldn't say I had a lot. I had an old PC call and she wants product. Unfortunately, she doesn't want it till October. But that's a win, and I have 2 Class A's, and I'm trying to meditate. I meditated today. So there you go.
there is no try, only do.
Do or do not.
Then I guess I failed.
Julie?
I have actually sent out, I think, 4 or 5 samples. Just I don't even know how it's happened, but I've got my 5 of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I have to figure out what the 4, 3, 2, 1 are because I'm obviously gonna do them this month. So and the month is running out. So I got those out, and maybe this will turn into orders. And I also have a couple of other people who are interested, and I've got to give them samples that I have personally. And then I got a customer last week that I forgot to tell y'all about. And she actually, her sister is a rep for Pure that is doing Nerium. And they sent out samples and stuff, and she still wanted our Age IQ day cream. So that's awesome. And Nina and I are going to get together and do amazing things. So we are planning that. And I'm going to make a mind movie because I'm going to finally remember to make a mind movie this week.
You think?
So anyway. Also, I made it back from New York. The thing was a total success. Rosie O'Donnell raved over my child, wanted to know who was the parent of the redhead, and like everyone really likes her a lot. So I think if she, like, the producer really likes her, the team really liked her. So I think if it goes to Broadway, which it's certain, I'm certain it's going to Broadway, that I think that she would be their Kathy. So, which is awesome. So
It's on Broadway already,
it is on Broadway.
by the way.
Yes, it's on Broadway.
She is already Kathy.
Well, she said in her, like, when she was 10 and she had her 5-year vision statement, she was 15 and she's like, I've done 2 things on Broadway, and she turns 14 this year. So there's still time to, by the time her 15th birthday that she ends, like by the time she turns 16, but I also count this as pre-Broadway.
You should have her do a Mind movie too. It's so simple.
Okay.
I'm sure she could. I mean,
I
I made one in 40 minutes the other day. I already had all the pictures. You guys, you're just overthinking it.
Okay. Okay.
Deal, Marielle.
Okay. So, so my big win was when my older self told my younger self today to sit down and do all that work. That was incredible. And people are starting to call back from those calls already, so that's amazing. But I thought I had 3 Class A's, but I have 4 Class A's I forgot. How can you forget about a Class A? I guess because they don't, they're not like calling you every day. So I have 4 Class A's, and reaching out to them this week. I got 4 PCs last week. And then I have 5 samples out, like the ones from our back office. And then I did, oh gosh, at least 3 or 4 eye serum samples at the events that I do. And I swear that is just hook, line, and sinker for them to want some. It's really crazy. It's really crazy. Oh, and I have a new line where I say, have you heard of Neora? And I say, oh, well, we are the marketing arm for Signum Biosciences, and their labs are at Princeton University. And it comes off my tongue, and they immediately, it gives it credibility. When I didn't used to say that before with that one line. And I say, Dr. Jeffrey Stock, and I point to my EHT thing, and I just say a little bit about that, and they're all, wow, they're so impressed immediately. And then I go, well, look at these pictures. It's because these really work, and it's real science behind it. And man, it's like changing. It's like totally different.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So write that down, because I just had it just came out very succinctly now. And that's really, I think, what's changing.
Really good. Thank you. Nina?
Okay. I have 3 Class A prospects. I added one today. I'm excited. And my wins are, I've gotten 4 samples out. It's on the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I need to get out one more. And I have been I'm in a better headspace than I have been since the beginning of the month. I've just been really down on myself for my August month in Neora. So I think I'm finally, it took a while. Damn, I was deep in that. But I'm excited again, and I have a plan of action, and I've been using my planner, and I'm not going back there. Going forward. So that's it.
And your hair
You are in Cabo.
great. By the way.
Yeah. What did you say, Anne? I didn't hear you.
Your hair looks great.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Linda?
Okay, so my big win was I did a spa event. Spur of the moment, I invited, it was the first time I've ever done it, where, we had like a demo. I had 5 girls come in and 3 canceled at the last minute, but 2 came. So it was good. It was we had a good time. It was a lot of fun. And so I think that I'll get some orders out of that. They didn't order right then, but I think they will. And I have 2 Class A prospects. I've been putting out tables, so doing some marketing that way, which is really good. I enjoy that. And I've got a table this Saturday that I'm doing at a health fair and Focus Women's Conference. There's going to be 500 women coming through there. Many of them have never heard of Neora. So I'm excited about that. They're going to be advertising it all through, the news and everything. So it's a little pricey, but I figured I'm a national marketing director, so it's just pennies.
Have you heard of Neora? Well, we're the marketing arm for Signum Biosciences out of Princeton.
Yes, I love that. Thank you.
I also say they have a dermal side and a wellness side, and we get all of their new discoveries. So it's like it's amazing.
You should do a little training video, a little Facebook Live on Ann Ford's bulletin board, and just pop it up and just talk for 5 minutes about this. There's really good stuff. You could help a lot of people, and the more people you help, the bigger your paycheck.
Absolutely.
And I treated the 15th as the end of the month, so I got my, goals already, surpassed the 9 and all that. So yay.
Wow.
So who's the trainer next week? Yay!
Me.
So next chapter 3.
There is no such
Yes, and on the ebook, it doesn't have a number 3, but is it just the 3rd?
It's time, right?
Yeah, time.
Yes, time. Okay. Got it.
Truth about time.
I have the printed book. Oh, there it is, Julie. Did you print it out?
Yes, the book.
Oh, I have the book, but it's packed in a box somewhere, so I'm using the ebook.
Well, I'll look forward to that. And I think we should hop off so we can reconvene. So we can disappear and reappear. Another example.
Yes. Okay. See ya.
See you soon.
All right, bye.